So my name's Emma, and I'm a freelance consultant. I work in user experience, and this is my good friend and peer, and we're colleagues, are we? Really? Bern. So Bern's from LA. I'll let her say a little bit about herself.
It's wonderful to be here. I have been sporting some very hot weather, so when I came here, I was like, this is brilliant. Oh, I can wear a coat. So thank you for having the weather that I've been missing. I run my own company in Los Angeles, and I have been very impressed with your community. Running early, on time, friendly, out of control. You guys rock.
So, where did this journey start? So we're going to hear today to talk about empathy. So, as you probably worked out, we don't live in the same country. We don't even live in the same time zone, which is a bit of a challenge when you're trying to do stuff like this. Well, a year ago, we met at another conference, and as you can see, us looking slightly inebriated, and we...
Not in my headshot, what are you talking
well, on that
about?
side, I definitely looked inebriated on that side, probably because I was. My boss had a habit of getting me slightly drunk before talking. That was his technique for coping with my anxiety before talking. So, yeah, we met about a year ago, and we were having a conversation after we'd been talking on one of the days, and it turns out that we both have a really strange interest in empathy. And there's a lot of empathy, an awful lot of empathy out there. 78,400 results when that was taken.
And that was that it was filtered by HBR, Harvard Business Review. And we kind of talked a little bit about the fact that it felt like the second coming, empathy.
Yeah, everybody was talking about empathy. I mean, if any of you follow lots of different news organisations on Twitter, chances are you're going to find things that pop up in your Twitter stream that are talking about empathy. There was something in the New York Times recently. There's been stuff on Harvard Business Review, Wired, all over the place you're seeing stuff about empathy. And we were both of the mindset that everybody says it's a soft skill. It's something warm and fuzzy. It's very, very touchy-feely, and it's not something that you can kind of distill and measure. And we were like, don't really believe that. Not at all. So from my journey into this, I'd started off with an article in Wired magazine that was actually published about autism. And it contained a section in there about empathy. And the thing that I found really interesting about it was that they were talking about, actually, you can measure it. So you could go online, you could take a test, and you can find out what your score is, effectively. A little bit like an IQ test, but slightly better, and we'll get onto that in a bit. But it was created by this man, Simon Baron-Cohen. He is a relative, I believe, and we do occasionally make the odd faux pas, so apologies if that happens today. He's a professor and a researcher at Cambridge University, and he has a team of researchers that work alongside him. And as a group, they had gone out and looked at how empathy was being measured out in the world, and they realised that there probably wasn't a really true measure of empathy, so they devised their own empathy test. Which you can go online and do, and because he wanted to learn more about it. His background comes from things around autism, and also, as you'll see from the rather gruesome pictures, he wanted to know how Nazis like Joseph Mengele could do what he could do and feel nothing and just carry on doing it. So he was looking at the negative side of these kind of emotions to see what was going on. But there was a positive side that came out of it, and there's a lot of research on empathy out there. So what does he say about empathy? Well, he says that he sees it as an ability to identify what someone else is thinking or feeling and to respond to their thoughts and feelings with appropriate emotion. So it's if you see somebody trip over and fall hard on the pavement, and you feel that sudden kind of like painful feeling, that's you experiencing empathy in the moment, because you can feel the resonation of your knee hitting that pavement at that time. It's an in-moment feeling. So what is empathy? I'm going to let Bern explain.
One of the things that was curious about the definitions of empathy and where people were going, I started talking with a friend of mine. He's a researcher and he's a psychiatrist in Los Angeles. And one of the things he said is, Bern, I think empathy is the ultimate user interface. Now, I don't know if he was just doing that because he knows the word interface was going to get my attention or what, but what he said was that it's been honed by our evolution to really equip us to survive. And we see people moving into this world and talking about the connectedness of the human race, right? And what he said is that empathy was built to help you function better, to make us more collaborative out in the wild, right? To make us, and our children understand and connect with us. It is also something that's going to provide us intrinsic motivation. So, as a functional aspect of our being, it helps us. It's also a familiarity engine. So if you think about your ability to tap into the thoughts and feelings of others, that familiarity makes that communication easier because you are getting it in your body and in your language. So if I feel something or I am kind of sensing what you're doing and I have this familiarity, you don't have to translate it to me and say it out in words. I can pick it up because it's occurring in my physical being. On top of that, the real thing where he got me was when he says, it's also got ease of use. I'm like, oh, you've been reading my journals, what are you doing? And essentially what he said is that